So
Okay.
hold on 1 second. I'm gonna say hey.
Hey.
Can you say hey real quick? I want to make sure there's not a delay.
Yeah,
hey,
real quick. Hey.
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 Okay. All right. No delay.
Hey.
Hey.
This is the dumbest thing
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny?
I've ever heard.
Yo, greetings, citizens of Earth. Welcome to the Accelerativ Thrust. I'm Dan.
And I'm Eric.
So, the Chipotle CEO. Have you heard about this?
No.
The Chipotle CEO sounds alarm on concerning customer behavior.
Okay.
Could a troublesome consumer trend mark be the end of a burrito empire? Some may think that the rising popularity of birria tacos. You ever had a birria taco?
I think so.
Some people, I guess, may think that the rising popularity of that is causing people to love burritos less than they used to. But Chipotle's challenges may go far beyond that, however. The fast casual chain recently announced an upcoming expansion to Latin America, opening its first ever location in Mexico. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So it goes on. But anyway, yeah. So then it goes on to say they're concerned about inflation and how people are not going out to eat as much anymore, right? Chipotle stock fell, and all this stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Which begs the question, is this the end of the burrito?
What does this even mean? I don't understand anything. I don't understand this. What are you saying? Why would falling stocks destroy a whole food item in the world? Is that what they're saying? No more burritos? No one can make a burrito?
People are buying less of it. These birria tacos are coming in and really destroying things.
They're like an invasive food species.
They are. Yeah, no. And actually, that's a really good idea. They really should make an endangered species list on food. And I think burritos would qualify as the first one if, in fact, the Chipotle CEO is correct in his assumptions.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. Everyone loves burritos. Yeah. I've had a sushi burrito. People make all kinds of burritos.
Have you ever had a sushi burrito taco?
No.
Okay. Well, according to this, people like that better. And they're worried about it. Okay. And so what we need to do is we need to save the burrito. And I think this might actually be a perfect mission for this this entire operation that we got going here, Eric. The Accelerativ Thrust, of course.
So we'll just call the podcast Burrito Thrust.
Well, I was actually thinking a better name would be Accelerativ Burrito.
Okay, yeah.
What we're doing is we're putting the accelerative. We're accelerating the comeback of the burrito.
Right. It's not quite as dirty sounding either.
No, it really isn't.
Welcome to Burrito Thrust. Today we're talking about fish tacos. Like that entire thing is totally perverted.
You can make some things in your mind about that. That's for sure.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
So yeah.
Okay, save the burrito. Sure, I got it.
So I am really, really concerned about this burrito thing. And I personally think if you're not on our side, then you're against us.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Coffee is a really tasty thing too. Maybe we should also save the coffee while we're at it too.
Oh, coffee's in trouble? Was there new coffee tacos or something?
Well, the energy drinks, energy.
Okay.
They come in, they think that they can just like sit on the shelf and dock at the coffee machines. You see more people buying them in the stores than they do coffee. It takes less time to get them. You just grab them out of a cooler and go pay for them. With the coffee, you have to pour it. You have to stir it. You have to shake it. You have to...
Shake it?
Well, some people do.
Oh, okay.
It gets all the sugar flavor.
Oh, okay.
But, it takes more time. Also,
Yeah.
if you opt out of doing that yourself, then you have to go and go through a drive-through somewhere or make it at home with an energy drink. You pop open the can, you guzzle, you're done. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think coffee and burritos, they're in danger. So
yeah.
don't believe the propaganda, folks. You may see a burrito or coffee on a menu at your local restaurant. They're in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Save them.
Yeah. Save the burritos. Burrito and coffee is the easiest way to get some killer heartburn too, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why. So that's why they created breakfast burritos.
Mm-hmm. So you can get heartburn right in the morning, as early as possible.
They're trying to keep us. They're trying to keep us blind, Eric.
Yeah, they're trying to keep us refluxed.
So the breakfast burritos are an invasive type of burrito.
Oh.
So we need to do something about
are we talking about what a true burrito is now? I don't like this conversation anymore.
So what?
It seems kind of, I don't know the right word.
Do you think it's harsh, Eric?
It's like two things can exist, right? It just feels like somehow the existence of one thing causes the downfall of another. And I don't necessarily think that's true.
Only in the burrito world. The taco world is fine. They got their birria tacos. They got their Taco John's tacos. They got their tacos. They're fine. But the burritos, there's a war. Damn. There's a war in the burrito world. And there's some shit going on with burritos.
Are wraps also a threat?
Well, now wraps, if a burrito could actually write raps, then yeah, raps would be a thing. But burritos can't talk or rap. Could you imagine if burritos were rapping against each other? Like a rap battle between a breakfast burrito and a chicken burrito?
A burrito battle? I've had that in my stomach before.
This is Revenge, Montezuma's burrito.
Oh, excellent.
Jesus. This is okay. Yeah, this is a lot of burrito talk.
We did review a rather interesting and good record this week.
Come on, everybody, it's record time.
This is another one of those situations where we got contacted by the band themselves. And this is a band called the Open Flames.
Yeah.
And the name of this record is Same Time Next Year. It's 7 songs, so I guess it's more of an EP, but they are referring to it as their debut album. So
yeah.
But anyway, so the Open Flames, one of the members contacted us. I don't remember which one. I think it might have been the vocalist, but could be wrong about that. The Open Flames, they're based out of London, actually, or at least that's where their home base is. But they have Dave Eastman is the vocalist, and then Paige Brubeck is the co-vocalist, and then I think, if I'm reading the bio right, / bass player, or plays bass on some of the songs, maybe. And then Evan Soot, who plays drums, who was in the band Harvey Danger, which caught my attention right away, as I think Flagpole Sitta, and actually that entire first album of theirs, Where Have All the Merrymakers Gone, is really quite excellent. Anyway, the description on the band's website, they call themselves pop noir. And I think that that's a perfect, honestly, I think that fits what they're doing perfectly. Sometimes it's really jangly and catchy. Other times there's kind of maybe a silky distortion that suggests an appreciation of maybe like shoegaze production or like psychedelic stuff like Velvet Underground. And then the singer's got this really great sort of gravelly, twangy voice to it. There's like some of the songs sound really dark and really kind of almost has that theatrical element. But then there are other times where reminds me of something like REM or whatever, you know.
I kind of described it as like fuzzy, slinky dream pop, but with like elements of folk and indie rock. And there is, yeah, like you said, a dark sort of feel to it. Again, I don't know. I wish I had a better word for something that's like carnival-esque, but that's there a little bit, and a little bit like a dark Americana feel to it as well, which I think a lot of that comes from the guitar, like you were saying. Yeah, the lead guitar is always kind of like high and echoey, and it kind of is just playing through most of the songs, like not really solos, but just accompanying the rest of the song. And it adds sort of like a spooky vibe to everything. And I thought that was super cool. The vocals, it's interesting because I was trying to figure out what the vocal style is like. And then I also don't know if the singer is English, right? But the voice doesn't sound English at all. It sounded like all I could come up with is a middle American drawl. And I don't mean Midwest. I mean the middle band across the country from Northern California to like New York, like that straight shot across somehow. Because it sounded kind of like Bob Dylan, tone wise, Michael Stipe, John Doe. And I honestly heard a lot of Freddie Johnston in there too. So it's got like this kind of a twang, but it's not a Southern twang. It's more just like I don't know, middle American kind of drawl. I don't know how to describe that, but somewhere in all those people I mentioned, there is some kind of common sound, I promise. And there is a second vocalist as well who takes some lead parts, but mostly joins on in the choruses and stuff. And she has like a really soft, kind of haunting voice that kind of adds to like the X vibe of it. You know, a lot of times when they're singing together, when Cervenka isn't screaming when she's singing, like that's kind of what the vibe is like. And sort of like even a Timbuk 3 kind of thing, or Boss Hogg, like that kind of sound sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah. And I don't know, the rhythm section, super tight, like really tight. And it provides a nice foundation for those kind of free floating guitars and everything. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think within the songs, it's gone a lot of places. It goes pretty much every place you can think of, really, within the sort of description we just came up with. Like the last song is a full-on just vocal and acoustic guitar, as far as I can tell. So it does veer into folky stuff a little bit too. So yeah, I would say at its core for me, it's like, yeah, sort of like shoegaze folk music. I don't know. That sounds weird, right? But that's what I took away from most of it. So
yeah, the when it comes to the singer's voice, when it comes to Dave Eastman's vocals, what I heard was a lot of Bill Janovitz from Buffalo Tom, and then also Jay Farrar from Sunvolt.
Sure, right.
You know, because you mentioned the dark kind of Americana. There definitely is that sort of element to it. But certainly the performances, and you mentioned this already, Erik, and the production is just really, really outstanding. You know that these guys have, you know, at least some of the members, probably all the members, have a level of experience with being in a band. You know, one of the members, I don't know who the member is, but one of the members was also in a band called Sleepy Kitty, who I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever heard Sleepy Kitty. So I may go back and check that out just for reference. But you can tell that this is an experienced group of musicians, you know, that are getting together and writing songs, and that they're just doing it, you know, and that's it. It's fantastic. For me, you know, I hear a lot of, for my sort of like recommended, if you like, I heard a lot of REM throughout this thing. I heard a lot of, again, Buffalo Tom, reminded me a lot of that. I heard parts that reminded me of Our Lady Peace, Super Drag. Also, Dinosaur Jr., like, particularly when, after the, like, during the, like, Green Mind, sort of whatever you are period of Dinosaur Jr. Replacements. I mean, Paul Westerberg is another, I think, frame of reference, like, here. I mean, I think I hear Paul Westerberg's, influence kind of all over this thing as well. And that last song you were talking about, the acoustic song in particular, that reminded me of like later Replacements and like early Paul Westerberg solo stuff, which was basically the same thing.
Right.
And then like Husker Du, like later Husker Du, and when they got away from the hardcore stuff, basically, and Bob Mould solo, and
for sure.
Wilco, Sunvolt. I mean, all these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had X. I had the Black Heart Procession, which I feel like I mentioned every episode. But honestly, like the Tropics of Love record, I think it's called, just one of the best records.
I got to check them out because you mention them all the time, and I am not familiar.
And I straight up and just kind of obsessed with that record. It's called Amore del Tropico. It's killer, just killer. Anyway, mini review there. I also really, the tone of his voice, not necessarily the enunciation. Jesus and Mary Chain. I know that sounds kind of weird, but some of the fuzz that's going on is like reminiscent. Teenage Fan Club without kind of the harmonies, like the, like Crosby, Stills, Nash harmonies. Those aren't here, but musically pretty much in the same realm. And what's interesting to me is like a lot of the stuff we're talking about, not necessarily the stuff I mentioned, but the stuff you mentioned is sort of like, I don't know, like a Northern Midwest vibe. And that's so weird because, I don't know where that's coming from. But it's really cool. You don't hear that sound really condensed and like synthesized in a way, it has a Chicago, Minnesota, like, I don't know, like Minneapolis, Chicago kind of sound. And that's so interesting to me because, if they're over in London, England, like that's a way different place, way different vibe. So I think it's cool. I didn't know what was going to come next. From the first song, I was like, okay, I get it. And the second song, I was like, wait, I don't get it. And then every song afterwards, I was like, oh, this is very different, but very good. So it's good stuff. I think if you like any of the stuff we mentioned, you're going to like it.
For sure. You should check it out. The Open Flames.
Yeah.
Same time next year. Excited that we got people of this caliber that are listening to us, even if it is just like one or two episodes.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, and also if you only listen to one or two episodes, you get it. I mean, you don't really have to listen to the rest of them.
No, you pretty much know exactly what we do. That's for sure. But I am going to follow that statement up, Eric.
Yes,
and I'm going to say that we do review a different album every episode, and we do bullshit about different things every episode. So it's not exactly the same.
Well, I wrote out a script, a bullet point script, and here's how it goes. BS, intro, BS, review, BS, what we're listening to this week, our information, BS, close. That's it. So that's a lot of BS.
There's a lot of BS. I mean, you can if you listen to the beginning of this episode, maybe the burrito thing was a little bit. That might have even been a little bit too much BS.
That's what BS stands for, burrito stuff.
Burrito stuff.
We're always talking about burrito stuff on the.
We're gonna do burrito stuff.
Come on, everybody, it's burrito time.
Yeah. Wow. So, hey, listeners, let us know what your favorite burrito is, and I would love to hear the Open Flames. What they have to say about their favorite burrito. Because
Open Flames.
Do they even have burritos in England?
Oh, I'm sure they have burritos in England. I would almost guarantee it.
I don't know. I'm genuinely curious about the burrito
I would think they
situation.
Would have, at the very least, I would think they would have like a fish taco, considering, fish and chips or
fish and chips burrito with like tartar sauce. What do you think? Vinegar?
Oh man, that would be so good. But listeners, if you guys want to send us your favorite food of all time or favorite record of all time or anything,
or if you have a band or ever heard of a band that you liked or something, let us know.
Let us know at accelerativ.thrust@gmail.com. The no E at the end of the V. Mm-hmm. And then also check us out on Instagram. You can send us a message and let us know. We learned a lot today about the burrito wars.
Yeah. We forgot
the open
one thing. One thing though.
What's that?
What have you been listening to this week?
We have forgotten that.
Well, we remembered last time, but we forgot today so far, but we remembered, so that means that we didn't forget. That's just a standard truism. If you remember something, then you didn't forget.
It's a truism.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I have been listening to this week is I've been listening to some Sonic Youth. Mm-hmm. Been really digging the Daydream Nation album, and also the Goo album. Been listening to Bob Dylan. I've really been digging Blonde on Blonde. John Wesley Harding, that might be my favorite Dylan.
Yeah.
And then also for the first time, this is an album that I've never listened to, but I decided to give it a try. Blood on the Tracks. Pretty good one. Yeah. And then I've also been listening to Guided by Voices, particularly the album Propeller. TV on the radio, they came up in comparison to somebody we reviewed recently, or something.
Ion Alexicus.
That's right, Ion Alexicus, and so that kind of had me go back and listen to their first album again. The Desperate, what is it, Desperate Babes, Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes, or something.
So great.
It is a fantastic record. Scowl. This hardcore band called Scowl, they just put out a record called Are We All Angels, which is kind of more in the vein of Sonic Youth or PJ Harvey, like Sonic Youth meets PJ Harvey kind of sound that they're kind of going for. And their lead singer, Kat Moss, she is just undeniably energetic on stage.
Cool.
And I've also checked out some interviews with them, and they seem like really cool people. Nice. But Scowl is a band I think to look out for. Other than that, a little bit of Suicide, the first Suicide album I've been kind of digging. But other than that, there hasn't really been too much.
Yeah. I'm going to burn through the first three because the fourth one I need to talk about a little. I've been listening to the self-titled Mexican Coke record. I've been listening to Turf Talk Volume 1 by Horror, the ones with the 9s instead of R's, them. And I've been listening to the album Nail by Scraping Fetus Off the Wheel. It's a fetus project. But then mostly, and I mean almost pretty much the whole time, this whole week, I've been listening to music for kids from the Folk Implosion.
Oh,
Now, this is interesting to me because it hasn't been on Spotify. It hasn't been anywhere. Like the music, unless you had a CD from
Right.
when it came out, it's been nearly impossible to find.
Right.
So it's crazy. When I turned it on, the first song's Natural One. Most of us probably know that song fine. But as it went on, I realized just how much I listened to this back in like 1994 or 5. Like, it was crazy. It was like core memories unlocked kind of situation, you know?
Mhm.
And I remember the first synthesizer I actually ever had was a Yamaha sound generator. It was just a box, and you flip through presets and you run, in my case, a shitty Casio with MIDI through that. And the whole reason was the kids' soundtrack. Like, because there's such cool synth sounds. Synths were not cool at all when this album came out. And there's so much forward thinking on this. It's unbelievable. This is before Black Moth Super Rainbow. This is before, I don't know, even almost before like trip hop. And they kind of predicted all this stuff. I didn't know who was involved. I looked into that, Slew Barlow and a couple of producers. Like, it blew my mind. And I just have to say, like, if we were doing our favorite albums over again, after listening to this, I realized how important it was to me in my life, and it probably would have made the list. It's unbelievable. Everyone should listen to it. It's so good.
Well,
but anyway, it's up on Spotify now. Music for Kids is what it's called.
Oh, it's on Spotify now?
Yeah. It's like a reissue with demos and things on it.
Does it have the other stuff, or just the folk implosion stuff?
Yeah, just the Folk Implosion stuff.
Okay. Does it also have the deluxe Folk Implosion?
Nope. It's really pretty much just that kids CD.
Wow.
Plus a bunch of demos. It's I don't know. It's amazing. That's all I'm going to say about it. There's nothing much to say.
Fantastic.
So,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember right, that was one of my picks for favorite soundtracks.
Oh, right. Yep.
And Gummo, like both of them. Like,
yeah. Gummo's amazing too.
Gummo is an amazing soundtrack. I mean, just because it was just such a weird movie to have such a metal soundtrack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's cool that Harmony Korine finding things before other people do, you know? Like,
for sure.
Like the Folk Implosion one has elements of hip hop in it. It has elements of punk rock. I don't know. I just can't say enough about it, except everyone should listen to it again. I mean, even if you've already listened to it, listen to it again.
That was also at the dawn of sort of weird New York sound that was kind of, I know Beck was not really from New York at all. He was from California, but he always hung out with Sonic Youth and the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
You know? He was always doing stuff. And like, remember John Spencer, Blues Explosion did that remix album? And they had Beck and Mike D on it and all kinds of people. And also like Chibo Motto and like, yeah, it was kind of like that was around the time of the birth of like soul coughing. Like there was this weird like sort of blender of like genres that were going in like to the mixer and just like coming out with this like weird sort of hybrid punk folk hip hop thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Good time in music.
Absolutely. It was very, very, very good, very strange. Yeah, man. So, I think we learned a lot today. And, I think there's no better time than now to sign off of the mission, Eric.
Yeah. Save the burrito, everybody.
Save the burrito. Tell us your favorite burrito. And that's your homework for the week.
We really did a lot to dispel the what people think of Americans today. I hope that the Open Flames listen to this and they're like, they just talked about burritos the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
How American. Yeah.
Yeah. It is very American. All right, bye.
Bye. Welcome to Burrito Thrust. Today we're talking about fish tacos.